You have been married according to Islam, of course, and yet you didn't think through that it might be a problem that if you get a Christian pastor, the guy you're trying to impress, the father, might have a problem with it. Welcome back to 90 Day Fiancé, the show where everyone wants fame, fortune, and visas. Always a good time, and we are back with some marriage madness, starting off with this episode and ending in the next one, which I believe is the finale. But before we get to all that, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, follow. I definitely appreciate all the support. Make sure you share as well. Once we get to 1,000, we're going to be looking at that live show. We are almost halfway there. So the support is much appreciated. Thank you so much. First, we have Annalee and Clayton, who we're still dealing with the stripper aftermath from the bachelorette party. Now, look, I stand by what I said. I don't think it's a good idea for strippers at bachelorette and bachelor parties. I think it sets your relationship off on the wrong foot. However, I also think at this point, it's time to move on, and you're either going to basically at this point say, hey, okay, didn't like it, but you know, it is what it is. We're going to get married now. Or you're going to say, I'm leaving you. He's not leaving her, so he needs to let it go. And that kind of became this communication thing. And she did have a point where it was like, you keep saying something over and over and over, which he does until he gets in kind of an answer he wants, I guess, which he definitely has some issues going on with his mom kind of lingering and staying all over him, hovering. So there's definitely some stuff going on there. And I think he's rolling it onto his relationship, which is not a good thing. And now she's thinking about leaving. So probably not going to be a good thing. But we'll see. We will see.
Por eso es que estaba tan
I was
triste
so
y no
sad.
sabía qué hacer. Pienso que es mejor
Now
salir
she's saying,
y
I
ya
think
no
she's saying, I think it's better if I just don't talk to him anymore.
conversar con él.
Leave and not talk to him anymore.
Clayton sabe que
So, in essence, well, this is like a few hours before their wedding. So, in essence, talking about being a runaway bride, and in the most literal of senses, because she would be running back to Peru. So it's like, it's not even just like, I'm just not going to show up. It's like, I am leaving the country. And that is actually what she is considering.
si la vida de
So if
casados
married
va a
life
ser
is going to
así
be
con
like
peleas
this, with constant
constantes y
repetitive fights,
repetitivas, realmente
I
prefiero
honestly
no
prefer
casarme
not
y
to marry him.
mantenerlo
And it makes sense. It makes sense because if you're going to start off your marriage with fighting nonstop, your inclination is going to be, why would I want to be in this? Especially when it's something like this, who it's not like you've known this person for that long. I mean, yes, they've been doing this long distance thing for a couple of years, but you're not 10 years into a relationship or something like that. And you just got together in person less than 90 days ago. So it would be easy for her to run away. The question is, does she? But then Clayton's dealing with it because he's going to the facility trying to get everything in order, and he hasn't even talked to Annalee, so she's not even communicating with him on this day. So that is a big issue in and of itself, and his friend does have some words of wisdom for him.
Clayton and Annalee's relationship has been full of ups and downs and
Yeah,
lack of
I'd say.
communication with one another.
And there it is, big one. Lack of communication. You cannot have lack of communication in a relationship and expect it to last.
Last night, the situation was a little bit extreme. There was some big reactions on both of their behalfs.
And that's what a good friend does. He's not just saying, yeah, man, I don't know what she's doing. She just needs to show. No, he's saying there were reactions on both sides. So maybe she should have taken what he said, because he did say from the get-go, I ain't down with strippers. Now, granted, then he decided to send it over to his sister, who has been divorced 3 times. I mean, what did you think she was going to do? I mean, she just looks like the type that's like, strippers and liquor. That's what his sister looks like. And he even said, I don't know if this is the best decision because she's been divorced 3 times. Guess you learned that the hard way. So that's a good friend there, trying to really lay it down. And that's what a good friend does, is you kind of like, you're not just affirming whatever your other friend wants to hear. You're going to tell them, there were some issues on both sides, but you're going to be there and be supportive. So good for him on that part. But we'll see how this plays out. Ultimately, when we got to the end of this episode, you get to a point of he's waiting at the altar and they're 30 minutes late and she's not there yet. And that's where we leave it. So not next season, but next week, we will see how that ultimately plays out. If she's going to jet up out of there to Peru, or if she's going to actually show up. I don't know, because I'm not confident in any of these couples really, but we'll see how it goes. Moving on. Now, Sophie and Rob have an interesting relationship also because they continue to fight, he continues to be kind of an ass, but yet the mom is also kind of an ass and keeps inserting herself into everything. So how are they going to make it work when you constantly have these two butting heads and can't get along, but yet you have Sophie who is so close with her mother, and then you have Rob who just can't seem to get it and be any kind of man in any sense of the word? Well, it probably isn't going to end well. That's my sense of it. Now, she's coming to stay at his studio apartment, and for some reason, because the next day they're going to get married and it was easier than her staying in a hotel, it makes no sense, because they claim to have money. So if they have money, then she could stay in a hotel. And you're telling me there's not a hotel somewhere near there? It doesn't make any sense. Either way, she's coming there to stay, which, what could possibly go wrong in this tight no bedroom studio apartment with no bathroom in there, that you have a shared bathroom with however many other studio apartments? No, this is simply for the TV show to see what could possibly go wrong. But look, he doesn't even want to get up. She gets up, hauling in all his bags. Yeah,
I'm coming.
and even she makes a point. No one wants to help me. If you're a man, I don't care how mad you are. If you are a real man, you are getting up and you're helping this woman with her bags. I don't care how mad you are at her. That is the most petty 5-year-old crap to not get up and help someone with their bags. It's man 101. You help with the bags. That's it. You put away your pride and you do it. But instead, he decides to pout the whole damn time. It's ridiculous.
That I'm going to calm my mom down and take them away from
Ultimately,
each other so everyone can just breathe. And
she
I don't
pulls
want
her
to be
mom
stuck in the middle of
outside.
it, as usual.
Tries to have
Are
a
you okay?
conversation with the mom because
Are you
they
okay?
got to get along. They got to get along.
Are you sure?
Uncomfortable.
Of course you're
We have to stay here
uncomfortable.
tonight. Can't me and you go to a hotel?
Of course, she takes this is why they're both wrong. Then she takes this opportunity, who agreed to stay there, to say, can't we just go to a hotel, trying to pull her away? When in reality, they have to find a way to make it work. If you didn't want to be there, then don't be there. But don't go there, wait for the opportunity that you know is going to happen, where you and Rob are not going to get along, and then take that opportunity to try to pull your daughter away because that's what you're doing. Now, should they be together? Probably not. I don't really know what she's still doing there at this point, because, he's shown time and time again that he's just going to continue to do what he wants to do. She had her issues too. It's just not going to work. But the mom definitely took this opportunity to try to pull her away, when in reality, what they're trying to do is get them closer together, and that's all she wants. But neither one of them, Rob or her mom, are really making that effort, so it's not going to work out well. And he just sits in there and pouts the whole time on his phone, which is not a good sign anyway, considering he's the one that was texting other girls and getting videos and all these things, and yet he's still always on his phone.
It comes from a place of feeling uncomfortable.
Feeling uncomfortable. She's saying that her acting the way she did comes from a place of feeling uncomfortable. I'm like, yeah, he sat there on his phone, monotone, pouting the whole time. Of course you're going to feel uncomfortable. You've been wrong too, but this time was mostly him.
At the end of the day, seeing them together, happy, was really nice.
They're just...
And then
he doesn't look happy though. He doesn't look happy at all. He's just like, yeah, this is my domain, my studio apartment. And then she's sitting there smiling and everything. So it's like, seeing them happy. I'm like, no, you're just seeing your daughter smile. There will be plenty of issues, please believe. But it's I don't know how the wedding's going to go once they get up there. So it should be, again, interesting to see next week, because you have a couple weddings this week, start at least, and then you have a couple weddings next week. So it's wedding madness all around. But I don't see any of them, especially them, Rob and Sophie, being together. I just don't. I just don't see it lasting. It's not going to last. It's not going to happen. It's done. I don't know why they're going through the motions. It is not going to work out. Quick update on Nikki and Justin.
How many you must cut for you to be happy?
How many do you have to cut to be happy? That is all. That is the only update for them. God. Moving on. So with Citra and Sam, there's some issues with the wedding. Now, remember, Sam just converted to Islam, not knowing a damn thing about Islam, but he did it because he wants to get laid. That's ultimately what it boils down to. Again, he just wanted to get married, to get laid. He's said it numerous times. Well, he hasn't explicitly said that, but he's talking about how excited he is for the wedding night. And I mean, that's part of getting married. Sure, you can be excited for the wedding night, but he's been the way he makes it sound, and when he talks about the conversion, it's more just so he can get married. He doesn't know a damn thing about Islam. He's doing it because if he didn't, he couldn't get married. But that lends to some problems because they did the ceremony with the imam at the mosque, and now he's trying to do a regular ceremony. But he clearly did not think through things.
They're marrying us. Like, everything just went sideways.
And I wonder why. You have been married according to Islam, of course, and yet you didn't think through that it might be a problem, that if you get a Christian pastor, the guy you're trying to impress, the father, might have a problem with it, getting married by a different religion. What the hell were you thinking? It's almost like you have addict brain. God. This guy, I'm telling you, he's not clean and sober. He's got issues. He's probably going to end up going to jail. And this chick, I don't know what she's going to end up doing, but she's probably going to end up going back home to Indonesia, where she's from. Gosh. And how do you not think through this? How do you not think, okay, I literally just converted. I believe it was the day before. It was the day before. But you just converted, and then you're going to be like, to get us we're going to do a regular ceremony. We're going to have a pastor or a priest or whatever it was, but a Christian person up there marrying us. And you didn't think the dad, who you've been trying to impress with converting to Islam the whole time, would have a problem with a completely different religion marrying you? What? I mean, how high are you right now? I swear, this guy is high all the time. Jeez. How high are you? How high were you before? Oh my gosh, man. Drugs. Just drugs. Drugs.
Luke can marry you.
Luke can marry you.
Wow.
That's his brother.
My brother Luke is ordained. I had no idea.
That's hilarious.
Really sounds...
It's the joke that, you can just get ordained online. Ultimately, his brother did just get ordained online because he was like, I think that's kind of funny that I can get ordained online. And now he's going to be the one that marries him. That's hilarious. It makes me want to kind of get ordained online just to say I got ordained online. I'm going to get ordained online, just start marrying people. I think that's the route to go.
Oh, that's sorry, you can't marry
And he has to
us.
tell the pastor.
I'm glad to meet you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Tim.
Of course,
Thank you, Tim.
lucky for him, the pastor was very understanding. How are you going to do all this, though? You're going to do all this, have all this going on, and not call the pastor so he doesn't come out there and say, yeah, we don't need you because I was an idiot and thought it would be okay for a Christian to marry us, but I'm Muslim. And instead, you waited for him to come out there, and then you decided to say, he's like, all right, we're ready to go. We're ready to get you married. And then you're like, I'm sorry, I just realized I'm a Muslim. Oh my gosh. But it happened. It is what it is. Hilarious. Great for TV. How much of this is put? You know what probably happened? He probably was about to call the pastor, and the producers were like, nah, let him come. Let him come, because it's good for TV. You got to make good TV. What are you going to do? You got to get them ratings. And 90 Day Fiancé still keeps pretty up in the ratings, so I think they're doing something right. So Gino and Jasmine are finally getting married, and hopefully we can have one happy day in the relationship without fighting, although that doesn't look that happy. But I'm pretty sure they're tears of joy. However, it doesn't change the fact that she continues to be the ugliest crier. Like, you know how criers are. Some just look crazy when they cry. She is one that looks absolutely crazy when she cries. Oh, God. Oh, my gosh. It's just she scrunches up her face and gets all, but at least it's tears of joy. But I'm sorry. It's interesting to watch that one cry. But hopefully they'll have a good day. Hopefully it'll go forward and without issue. Of course, you always think with Jasmine, she might be leaving at the altar because that seems like something she would do. But who knows? Who knows? Hopefully Gino will catch a break. Give him props. He's getting a little emotional.
Damn.
See, just trying to get the rest out. He just basically said, I love you very much. So, listen, at least it's okay. Even though this is not going to last because they can't not fight over the tiniest of things. At least they're having a nice ceremony. At least it's not just riddled with controversy and anger and fights. Good for them. At least he's having that happy moment. I don't think it's going to last. But at least in this moment, he's happy. And she seems happy. So we got that going for us. And of course, the best part of the evening is because she uses the occasion to convince him to take off his hat. Oh God, it's a cue ball. He's legitimate cue ball. When you hear cue ball, he's cue ball. But you know what though? It's just, he's just bald. It doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. But yet he's wearing hats all the time because he's trying to cover it up. I get it. But just own it, man. I mean, you can wear hats. I mean, but he goes to the extreme of having a hat for every occasion, sleeping in hats. And I know he's probably doing that because of the TV. I doubt if the TV cameras aren't there, he's probably not wearing hats while he sleeps. But, you know, to have a hat for every occasion when he goes out and not just be like, yeah, I'm bald. It is what it is. I mean, at this point, you're supposed to have the person you love. So you can kind of own it because she's the one telling you to take the hat off. So, but it's been revealed. The big reveal of the season is Gino taking off his hat. That's what it is. It gets crazier and crazier every time it goes forward. We still have next week to finish Annalie and Clayton's wedding to see if Sophie and Rob actually get married. So it's going to be madness, I'm sure. And I think next week's the finale, so I'm sure there's going to be some fireworks and stuff. So interesting to say the least. None of them are going to last. They're all going to end. They're all going to break up. Everything is madness. Everything implodes. But that's where we're at. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you follow, comment, like, subscribe, share as well. I definitely appreciate all the support. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers so we can get to that live show weekly. I definitely appreciate everything, and I will see y'all next time.